Hi everyone, and welcome to the Weekly Woo. So this week we pulled Wormwood. The other name for Wormwood is Artemisia. It was named after the goddess Artemis, but it was changed in medieval times. This is such a powerful herb. An herb of protection, a herb of cleansing. It can be toxic in large quantities. But its message for us this week is caution. Look before you leap. Now this is interesting because, well, we have Mercury going direct on election day, which is November 3rd, and we're leading up to Mars going direct on the 13th and 14th of this month. So we still have two major planets that affect our everyday life in retrograde motion, which means this is still a time to be thinking about options, and not necessarily to say don't commit, but any contract, right? You want to like triple check it. It's interesting with retrogrades, there's always a triplicity to it. Like you want to check things 3 times with Mercury retrograde. Sometimes you have to do things 3 times with Mercury retrograde to get it right. With Mars retrograde, it takes 3 times the effort, right, to get something done, or it will take 3 times as long. This element of caution also really about our reactivity as we enter in this very complex week where, the result is uncertain, and we're probably not going to get an answer about this election, which affects not just America, the entire world, until later on in the month, if not December. So interesting then, because we got Ant as our totem. Welcome the new deck. Welcome the new deck. And it's interesting, it's the number 1, which is the number of initiation, of willpower, of the individual, and yet the key words are time to collaborate. So this is a week to think about, especially now that we have Venus in Libra and Mercury in Libra, to really think about your connections, right? You don't have to do it all on your own. And are you someone who is able to ask for help or not? Because asking for help this week is really going to bring in a lot of good energy, of abundance in many forms. And this idea of collaboration, I know at least from my life, there's was this pressure to be independent, this pressure to, take care of everything on my own. But that doesn't always feed fulfilling relationships and deeper intimacy. So this week we're being asked to take a look at our ability to collaborate and our ability to work within a community. Now it's interesting, we get this card because, with all of the shutdown and summer looming, some, second wave or whatever, and second shutdowns are possibly coming and definitely happening in Europe. It's like we're getting this year to really think about what is community and what is our part in community and what does it mean to us? How important is it to us? So this axis of Aries and Libra, where Mars is in Aries and we have Venus and Mercury in Libra, and Aries is all about independence, right? That fiery warrior spirit. And Libra is all about that connection and that balance that comes through living with others, loving others. So that's clearly in the 4. And when we have Wormwood here, it's definitely telling us to, let's just take the archetype of Artemis, right? She's the huntress, rules over wild animals and woodland forests. How can that archetype speak to us about our ability to be in community and in collaboration? Can we maintain our independence and still contribute to the community? Can we be in relationship and not lose ourselves? Caution. To really, this idea of 3, before you send it or say it or react to it, take 3 breaths, right? Or write it out 3 times. Now, this also speaks about if there is something you need to act upon, going to the community, going to friends, families, mentors, elders, professionals, experts to get an opinion on what you need to do and what's the next best step. Now, our crystal, rose quartz, this week, heart healing. This is all about forgiveness. This stone, whenever we work with it, is about healing our heart from past pain, trauma, and heartbreak. And I'll link a video I did here about heartbreak, because heartbreak isn't just about when a romantic relationship dissolves. Heartbreak can be about a career obstacle or loss. It can be about friendship, friends growing apart. It can be about losing a pet or a loved one. It can also be about the pain that we feel when our community is in disruption, which is definitely, you know, I'm in America, definitely what is happening and could be happening with this election. So I'm just going to quickly read 2 of the affirmations that go with this beautiful card in this beautiful deck. May divine love fill the world. May all beings be happy and free, according to divine compassion. So be it. I love my beautiful, shining, radiant heart. My heart guides me with wisdom and compassion. I listen to my heart with respect. I love my heart, and I give thanks for this beautiful creation of divine love that lives within me. May peace fill my heart. May peace fill all hearts. And I really want to emphasize, because we have this community card, compassion for those who don't believe what we believe, right? Compassion for those who may vote in opposition to how we're voting. Compassion for the entire community of humanity, which is this planet. Compassion for all of us as we're going through 2020, which has been such a challenge. And compassion also because by now we've all experienced multiple kinds of pain. That pain is there to bring us to a state of compassion for others and for ourselves. That this human journey is not always easy, but it's those challenges that forces us to grow, that builds that spiritual muscle, that builds that fortitude and that wisdom and that grace. So this is a week where we are going to be offered an opportunity to have compassion and forgiveness for the community. And that could be the communities that maybe you don't feel like you're a part of, communities that oppose your own communities. And the caution ever so much is going to be in this time where most people are going to be very reactive. Can you be the wise one? Can you be that archetype of the elder, regardless of your age or gender? Can you be that wise woman, that wise man, that wise creature that thinks before they speak, that pauses, that takes time out for themselves to find that compassion for themselves and others before they initiate dialogue or reaction, right? So I really like doing a bit of a live draw on these now. So we're just going to look at this angel deck, which I love so much. And what else do we need to see this week? Wow. Okay. God box. I love this one. So this is literally write any worries or concerns or desires on a piece of paper that you put in a special container called the God box. And on Seeking the Sacred Earth, when this is what that was called, I made a specific video about that, and I'll see if I can find that and link that here. It's a way of letting go and allowing the divine to take over. You surrender what's bothering you. This also reminds me of the serenity prayer. What we can't control, we have to let go of. And we need to be very clear about what we can control. This goes back to this caution, like what is in your control and what isn't? What do you need to step away from? Now, there were 2 cards that came out with it. I love it when they sprawl out like this. If you get nervous, focus on service. Service is the way. I learned this a while ago, that to really stay on this planet, be active in this planet community, When it gets rough, when you get shy or nervous or socially anxious or uncertain, focus on how can you make it better? How can you make this a better place? How can you make the pocket that you're in brighter? How can you serve the people in your life? When you just don't know what else to do, that's where to turn. Put your entire intention on answering the question, how can I make the world a better place? And the law of attraction will immediately take care of your needs. So I encourage you right now, wherever you are watching this, just say this out loud. Show me how to make the world a better place. Show me what I can do to make this situation better. And see what comes in. Now we also got cut your cords. This is interesting because fear, when we're in conflict with other people or groups, there are cords of energy that come from our solar plexus chakra. We are actually, if we were to see ourselves more accurately, you know, we have such a dim level of understanding of what actually exists because our vision is so small on the fractal of the light spectrum. So we have energy that we're constantly giving out and receiving. And cutting the cords, this is all about really being conscious of where your energy is directed. And if you are in a fearful state about an event, a person, a situation, a group, you are then connected to that entity, person, place, or thing, situation, or memory with a cord of energy. And it's your energy, so you are sovereign. Once you are aware of this, you clear it, and you just, in your mind's eye, see it, cut it. And it may look like all different things. Sometimes they're black or red or gray or whatever. You clear it, you cut it, and you draw your energy back into your solar plexus chakra. So I kind of see it as like you're calling your energy back. And you can see it come back into your auric field where you've let it seep out. Energetic hygiene, man, it's everything is the truth. And right now this week, after this full moon, which was, you know, a full moon on Samhain, on Halloween, you know, we heard this phrase, the veils were thin. Well, actually, in my opinion, there were no veils. And in many ways throughout this week, as we move away from this full moon, we're still in its orb. We're still in its power. So everything we're doing is going to be more powerful, more accentuated. And full moons are about releasing and clearing and ending and illuminating where you must go and where you must not go, right? Back to this caution card. But cut the cords of fear specifically with this moon is also cut the cords of fear to your past, to situations that may have created PTSD in your life. And a good way to do that is to journal about, you know, when was the first time you experienced fear, that you can remember that, and then literally go through your timeline as you've grown older and list where fear has controlled your life, and then go through and clear it. Something I do with clients, and if you want help with that, please contact me at info@thegoodwoo.org, or you can go to thegoodwoo.org and look at the services tab and see what I'm offering in that way. One more. One more. The one that initially just turned up, which I didn't take because I was just getting it out of the deck, was the Sacred Space card. And it's interesting, my son and his class, they have something called a peace corner, which is what they've created in their homes so that when the Zoom classes get too much or mom and dad get too much, they can choose to go into a little sacred space that they've created. So it's not like a timeout. It's a sacred space for them to process. So maybe we all need to make a peace corner in this very tumultuous week. Well, 3 cards again. Isolde, undying love. This harkens back to the past. What events in the past are holding you back from taking a leap of faith? Now. And yes, we have to have caution with that leap of faith, but there is heart healing happening. And I do feel like this moon, although 2020 has not had very many great aspects for romantic love, this full moon brought some of that in. So some of us could be, you know, encountering soulmates or reconciling with people After all, it is, you know, Mars retrograde often brings people from the past or reconciliation from the past. Ishtar, boundaries, and Freya, bold. So interesting, because also this caution card, which relates to boundaries, right? And I really think where this comes into play right now is, where are you overstepping boundaries? Where are you, you know, giving TMI? Where are you taking responsibility when the responsibility is not yours? Trying to control what is not in your control. And then, of course, Freya, be bold. Be adventurous and daring. Which is kind of conflicting because we have this. But if you are cautious, if you have done that triple check and you want to start something new, then perhaps this is a good time for that this week. And also, I love that there's, you know, this lynx cat in this. There's something also about keeping your cards close right now until we get through these retrogrades, you know, keeping space so that if you do change your mind, you haven't committed to something yet, because the change of mind is real. When these planets go direct, there's going to be lots of switcheroos. So make space for that and have compassion for yourself when that change of mind happens. So thank you all so much for viewing. I hope you enjoyed this weekly woo. Of course, there is an extended on patreon.com/thegoodwoo. If you want to go more in depth, we'll be pulling some energy oracle cards, another crystal, and some tarot. So I hope I see you guys over there. I'd love for you to become a patron. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for your subscriptions, your likes, and your comments. If you're watching this on Instagram, thank you so much. Please let me know how this full moon affected you. I know for me in my life, it was such a beautiful, beautiful energy that also filled me with a lot of inspiration. So share with me how it affected you. Bye, everybody.